Now we're going to start with the big news of the day.
That's right. The public getting their first chance today to pay respects in person to the late Pope Francis. The lines have been long in Vatican City all day since the public viewing opening this morning. A
steady stream of people walking by the Pope in his coffin, lying in state at St. Peter's Basilica, yes. For the next couple of days, this will be what happens. At least 25,000 people have already passed by. And New York's Cardinal Timothy Dolan was among them, arriving today for the funeral and then the conclave.
With more on the Cardinals' message for New Yorkers and on the faithful who are lining up, Eyewitness News anchor Mike Marza is in Vatican City for us tonight. Mike?
Truly an incredible day here, Sade and Bill. It is almost 11:15, and people are still lined up. In fact, you mentioned how much interest this is drawing. 4,000 members of the media from around the world tried to get a credential just today to cover the events that are going to play out throughout this week. Let's take a live look, if we can, inside St. Peter's Basilica, because the line is still snaking around the coffin of Pope Francis, and the Vatican saying just moments ago that they plan to keep that flow going for as long as they need to get everybody through the line tonight. But this historic day started as people began lining up very early this morning. By the time the sun soaked St. Peter's Square, it filled with a flock of faithful. Fred Matera is from Barnegat, New Jersey.
Unfortunate for the circumstance, but fortunate to witness history being made.
Pope Francis's open coffin lying in state at the main altar.
It attracts so many people from all over the world. That's kind of surprising. I mean, what other sort of funeral event would cause this sort of thing?
The queue to enter St. Peter's Basilica lured people from Peru.
I was hoping to see the Pope alive.
To Miami. Sabrina had tickets to sit with the Pope for a general audience last week. Instead, she came to say goodbye.
I was anticipating this moment so much. Didn't think was going to be like that.
The lines are getting huge, and for most of these people, they will be waiting for hours just to spend a few seconds.
For me, it was very rough, and my heart was like feeling oppressed because the Pope was with an expression like empty, something like that.
Italy launched its security plan today, patrolling the Vatican neighborhood, underground and overhead with drones. Officials saying the security machine is ready. This morning, pallbearers carried Pope Francis's simple wooden coffin, escorted by the Papal Swiss Guard. Cardinals walking too. A methodical march from his home at the chapel of the Santa Marta Guest House through St. Peter's Square before entering the central door of the Basilica to cheers one final time. No matter your faith, it truly was an incredible moment being in St. Peter's Square to witness all of that. The Cardinals met again tonight, 103 of them. No major headlines coming out of it, including no timeline on when that conclave is supposed to begin. But among the people here on the ground in Vatican City, you mentioned New York Archbishop Timothy Cardinal Dolan. He was here inside St. Peter's Basilica earlier this morning to pay his respects to Pope Francis.
What we wanted to do as soon as we could is come pay our respects to Pope Francis here in the Basilica. I bring your intentions with me, folks, and I said on your behalf, I offered some prayers for our beloved Pope Francis.
Pope Francis's funeral set for 10 a.m. local time here in Vatican City on Saturday. That is 3:30 in the morning on Saturday back in New York, and we invite you to watch ABC News special coverage celebrating Francis, the people's Pope, as he is known. Of course, a lot to get to before that day on Saturday as the 2 more days of public viewing continue tomorrow.